Welcome to Meet the Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, Angus Chan, CEO of Harrison.ai. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Liam, my fun facts about myself is I'm currently not a driver, but I do like one brand of car, and is from Tesla. And as you know, I'm an AI engineer by training, so I'm very fascinated by the self-driving technology. And I believe that one of the best self-driving car in the world at the moment is a Tesla. And so obviously any one of the model, the Model 3, the Model S, but that's the one that turned my head on the street. I'm very curious to see how they're driving and if they self-drive, and that really excites me.
Hmm. Think back to when you were a kid. What did you want to do when you grew up?
So I've always been a builder since I was young. So when I was a kid, I always find myself tearing up uh, toys and trying to understand how it works, and trying to build something else out of that. So my mother always thought that I'll be an engineer. So her plan for me was to go to the United States, go to MIT, and learn about engineering. So I always thought that I built something. But then when I went to Australia, I realized that, you know, the thing about building something is knowing what it is that you care deeply about enough to devote yourself into building is the harder things to find out than the skill of building stuff itself. So obviously I fall in love with medicine, um, and learn to be a doctor. So now I'm building technology that help with medicine. So I guess I finally come back to what I wanted to do when I grow up. Just took a bit of detour through medicine.
Okay, think. Okay, I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you become a CEO?
So the story was when I was a medical student at University of New South Wales. I had a pediatric rotation, so kid medicine. And during the training, I had a lecture about IVF technology. So IVF is the technology where people put embryos into incubation, and they're trying to grow babies from test tube, essentially. So I was very fascinated by this, and at the time I was learning about AI and machine learning, and I thought that would be a very good problem to solve with AI, because it's very critical decisions. People are not very consistent at making that decision. So I ended up building this technology as a student in university. And after about a year, this technology was used all across Australia and part of Europe. And I ended up selling my technology to a medical device company. So this was kind of like the first experience for me, going from someone who's about to become a medical doctor to realizing that doing the most amount of good in the world does not necessarily entail me practicing medicine directly, but could be indirectly through building this technology. So that's when I started my company currently, Harrison AI. Harrison is aiming to build AI for medical device and scale the capacity of global clinicians. And I recruited my brother, who was working for a company called Ramsey Healthcare at the time, to join me. And between the two of us, we started the company, and I've been CEO of Harrison since.
Okay, now tell me about your company. What is your product and who are your customers?
Yeah, so the problem that we're trying to solve is clinician capacity. So it's incredibly difficult to train clinicians, and there's not enough of them. So for example, in Australia, there's 2,000 radiologists for about 20 million people. But in places like Indonesia, there's also 2,000 radiologists, but for 200 million people. And that's a problem that Harrison is looking to solve with this technology. So what we're doing is that we're building AI that is capable of automating some of the tasks that the radiologists or clinicians would be working on. And because AI can be scaled through computing and technology, the hope is that you can scale clinical insight and capacity. And this is a huge issue to tackle, because when you don't have enough doctors, people wait longer to get poorer service. And I believe that everybody should have equal access to healthcare. So we have two products. The first one is a chest X-ray. So that's when they send radiation through the chest and then trying to look inside you and see what's in it. We have an AI that can read the chest X-ray very well. And the other product is CT brain. So that's like a cross sections imaging of the brain. It's like sliding your brain with salami into different layers and trying to see inside. Obviously without literally doing that and keeping you alive in the process. But we have an AI that can review that imaging very well and help the clinicians analyzing that data set.
So what do you love most about your job?
Oftentimes I go to work and I always pinch myself and I said, I cannot believe that this is what I get to do for a living. And I guess the thing that I like about it the most is that it's a perfect blend between the two things that I care very much about. Obviously the first thing is the humanity of medicine and how personal that is and how real it is, especially when you see the technology get used or someone that or love going through healthcare and how impactful that could be for that individual, but also people around them, and then ultimately their community. But on the other side, I get to play with incredibly cool technology with AI and artificial intelligence. We're at the very cutting edge of what AI is capable of doing. And if I was born maybe 10 years ago, this technology wouldn't have been available. Like even if I have the same idea then, there is no capabilities of actually building it. And I'm living through this time now where that technology is starting to demonstrate its capability, and I get to use it to solve one of the biggest problems in the world. So I guess that's what really motivate me and make me really love my job, which is this really incredibly impactful problem and amazing technology to solve it.
So what's the hardest thing about your job?
To me, the hardest thing is the fact that the future of medicine I see so clearly. What it needs to look like, but doesn't mean that you get to press the fast forward button. It's incredibly tough journey to go through from you having an idea and a vision to something is in the hands of clinicians and realizing that potential. And the hardest thing is patient, right? And prioritization, because there's always a limited amount of time in a day for yourself, but also for your team. There's a limited amount of resources that you have to work with, and you always need to trade off what idea you prioritize and what idea you do later, and doing that in a way that incrementally move you toward the long-term vision while also delivering incremental value along the way. So in case of your car company, the way you should think about it is, you want to build this beautiful, Koenigsegg 1-to-1 weight ratio car, but you're probably not going to build that car immediately right away, right? You probably need to build a Model T, right, from Toyota first. So that always motivate you, but it's hard because you know what the best car will look like, but you need to ship something today that deliver value, and I think that is very difficult.
Okay, so what does success look like to you?
I think for me, if by the time I'm done with this, if I can tangibly say that all of the technology that I built collectively is participating in and improving the care of 1 million patients a day, that would be success for me. That's my personal objective, and that by extension is the objective of Harrison as an organization. So we actually very long way from this success. So last year, the collective reach of all of the technology we built is about 2 million patients per year. We need to get to 1 million per day. So it's a very long way to go. But I think probably the first million has been the hardest. Maybe one additional thing in terms of success also is I want to make sure that everybody who's working at Harrison and related entity, feel good about getting there in the mission. That they felt that this is part of their story and that their life best work, and that they've enjoyed the journey of getting to that millionth life a day also, because there's all sort of way to get to your goals, right? And I think to me it would be much more rewarding if the people who was part of the journey also felt like they grew and felt like they've also accomplished their personal goal as well, not just Angus' personal goal. And I think that probably what success would look like for me by the end.
So what's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
I would say, think about starting a company as a way of achieving a goal, a vision that you have, rather than starting a company itself as the objective. So, for example, you may think that, building the car company could be because you care a lot about engineering and you want to advance engineering, or maybe you want to build affordable cars so everybody had access to it. Or perhaps you want to build, if it was me, I would be interested in building a self-driving car and increase the access to transportation. Make sure that you understand the problem that you're looking to solve and the reason why you want to do that. And then starting your own company is one of the best way and a great way to achieve that goal. But sometimes it may not be the only way, and it may not be even the easiest way, right? Sometimes it's better to join someone to achieve the same vision. So I think that would probably be the advice I give anyone who's thinking about entrepreneurship and starting a business, because that vision is so powerful. Once that take hold and you truly internalize and understood it, it's incredibly strong, and it'll pull you through many challenges, and it's very clarifying also, because along the way there's a lot of temptation to give up or to try other things or to take shortcut. But once you clean your mind why you're doing it, then it make things very simple, right? Make your choices on what you do and what you don't do incredibly simple.
Okay, looks like that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for sharing your story and being on this show. Best of luck for the future.
Thank you, Liam. Good luck, and look forward to see what you do with this.
Have a nice day, Angus.